Mustapha Shologunde joins us now. He's a member of the APC and continuing our focus on the new administration in Ekiti. Thank you for coming on this morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning, viewers at home.
Well, looking through all of this, I mean, yes, he's been sworn in, and straight away, if you look through some of the headlines, demotes 8 permanent secretaries and then appoints SSG aid on stomach infrastructure, others. He's talked about the discrepant state of the finance. In fact, he says he saw over 157 state accounts, and none of them has ₦1 million in that. And it was jaw-dropping and surprising when people said it, especially when you look at the antecedent of the state. I mean, Governor Fayose was, someone tweeted, the state is a construction site. So does it explain why, perhaps, according to Governor Fayose, the state accounts, 157 of them have not even up to ₦1 million?
Well, if the outgoing governor engaged the way he did in the development of Ekiti State, that required money. And it's only a fool of a businessman or a government functionary that will keep millions of naira resting in the vaults of a bank when those naira could be deployed into improving the economy and every other infrastructure in the state. So it is not, to me, Fayose's comment in that regard was definitely meant to present former Governor Fayose in bad light. But I think he has only exposed his own ignorance and inadequacy for that office in which he is. Because the business of government is a continuity, whether you succeeded a man from your party or not. You look at the positive things that he has done and how you want to continue. Otherwise, if the style he brought into governance yesterday, going by the way he spoke, if that is the style he wants to use to rule Ekiti State, then Ekiti State should be prepared to go back to those dark ages when Fayose was first governor of that state. Because we all know what he did. And
but at the same time, he also, in that speech, says he left billions, can't remember the exact figure now, he left billions in that same state, of which he's coming back now. So if you say
yes,
the dark ages, so if they were richer in the dark ages,
the billions that Fayose left were meant to be embezzled, but he was not prepared for the way he was exited from office. That was why the billions were there. Because he was stealing government money, and we know what he did with let me finish. No, we know what he did with government. We know what he did with government money. Yes, he used government money to establish poultries, to import cows.
Do you have evidence?
If you told me, I would have gone into the archives to bring the evidence.
So since we can't tender it now.
No, then he didn't supply evidences to back up what he said. But it is a fact all Nigerians know and will remember that he established poultries. He claimed to establish poultries with billions of naira that never existed. He imported cows from South Africa. They all died of malnutrition. So those are evidences. I do not need to provide evidence of this. Every Nigerian has that in his or her memory.
You know, let us leave the previous administration alone. Let us face this new government.
Yes.
You know, let's say that the past, because even he says that he made mistakes and he's learned from his mistakes. And you know, the past is in the past. He's promising the people of Ekiti a better deal. But let's start from, you know, what transpired yesterday in terms of his inaugural address. And even the PDP, Mr. PS, who was here, admitted that that inaugural address had streaks of annoyance written all over it. And a lot of people wonder if your party had a great deal in, you know, bringing that annoyance to the fore.
Well, we couldn't have annoyed him by the way the APC ruled that state until yesterday. Fayose exhibited his penchant that we all know him for. And he has told Ekiti people and Nigerians by that speech that they should be prepared for such reckless statements, because an inaugural address is meant to showcase policies and let people know what they are to expect. But coming there to come and talk the way he talked, the way he spoke, without being conscious of the fact that he had just been sworn in as the executive governor of a state was most disappointing, but it's not totally embarrassing to many of
Let's
us.
totally let's
because we
rewind.
expected
Let us
something
rewind.
worse from
Let's
him.
rewind to the elections.
Yes.
Shortly after the elections, the then governor of the state, Kayode Fayemi, gave a speech. It's entitled "If This Be the Will of Ekiti People."
Yes.
You know, and he concedes and he accedes to their will.
Yes.
And then subsequently, we saw meetings between himself and the then governor-elect,
Yeah.
and it was seen that all was going well and smooth, until we now saw a particular case in court, which threatened the peace. Because then, if
Which
you
case
had,
is that?
Well, there were quite a number of cases. Then the APC did say that they were going to go to court over irregularities they noticed.
Yes.
And then you also had another case, the E11 case that was also in court as well. And it was seen that all of this, he felt, had the support of the APC government. You know, but did you see, because a lot of people had praised that relationship, he spoke very well of his brother. He called him his brother governor, you know, who was then in office. He remains his governor until so and so date when I'm sworn in, you know. And all of this had gone well and smooth until, you know, it was seen that all of that now has been thrown out through the window. Do you think that your party had a role to play in that?
Well, I think Nigerians must be made aware and reminded that it was not the system we run now. It is not the person that comes out to campaign for governor or mayor or the Senate or any elective office that is contesting. It is the party that is contesting. The APC contested the governorship and put Fayemi there as the symbol that if we won, Fayemi will remain as governor. So whatever Fayemi did, he did it as an individual. He did not consult the leadership of the party before he embraced Fayose. And nobody is blaming him for that. He had that discretion as a full-fledged citizen of this country. But the truth is that the leadership of APC went into the nitty-gritty, and we discovered that the election results were manipulated. Don't forget, Professor Jega told us a few days to the election that the ballot papers had been coded. And people asked him, what are the coding indications on these ballot papers? And then the issue of Professor Jega coming out to say that there was no abracadabra in the election. These are salient facts that are going to be put before the tribunal, because that election still remains an abracadabra. When the tribunal starts its proceedings, Nigerians will know the truth about what happened.
But you know,
we accept that Fayose was declared winner of that election and let him be sworn in. So that takes care of the
and
first.
that's why he was declared winner.
I said we accept that he has been declared winner, and that is why he has been sworn in. But I don't accept that he won. It is when we finish at the tribunal, we will know who won, Fayemi or Fayose. That's about the first aspect. Let me finish. No, there are two issues that she raised. Let me attend to the second one. The second one is about the E11. The E11 group are not members of the APC. They are concerned citizens, frontliners in Ekiti State.
But they're fighting the same cause that APC is fighting.
It does not matter if they came out because Fayose was not qualified to contest election. And that case should have been allowed unfettered processing the court. And what are we saying?
Friend of my enemy is my friend.
We are not talking about
what they say
that. Is not the issue we are talking about. We are talking about propriety. These people went to court on their own, that Fayose was not qualified to contest, and to make sure that that trial was aborted or abridged or stopped, Fayose went to court first on Monday of that week. A judge was assaulted, and then on Thursday, Fayose himself went to the tribunal and gave instruction that another judge be beaten up his clothes were torn. And what did we see at the end of the day? When the NJC, let me finish. You gave me a question.
You can't say that he gave that directive. If it's being investigated, you can't jump to that conclusion.
That's the report in the papers.
What's the point of the investigation?
Let me finish.
No, on this program, no,
that's the report that we have.
You cannot come to that conclusion on this program, because if there's an investigation, we have to let them finish.
It was reported that he gave instruction.
We have to let them finish the investigation before we come to it.
But
let's move on to the next matter.
It was reported that he gave instruction.
Just a minute.
No, I'm not finished. Let me finish giving you the answer.